Alright, you bastard, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today I'm going to talk about why you need an iron cast skillet of this size in your bug-out bag. But before we start, if you're interested in survival courses in Belgium, there will be a link to my website called survivaltrainingbelgië.be and also to my book called Bloody Crosses. It's in the description, so if you're interested, take a look. So, an iron cast skillet. I have this in my bug-out bag from now on for several reasons over the conventional utensils or pans or pots or canteens or whatever you're going to call it. So, first of all, many people would say an iron cast skillet is too heavy and it needs too much maintenance. Yeah, perhaps, but there's a reason why this is being used throughout the ages, even though the things that you named. So, first of all, the first reason I took it was because during a bug out, I'm not only planning to cook on fires or hot coals, but I also have my stove with me, my solo stove. This is one of the best stoves that I ever had. Very light. I made a whole video about it, but it has one problem. As you can see, it has a triple holder on top of it. But the problem is, whenever I try to put my canteen on top of it, it's just, whenever it's not placed right, it falls directly over. So that's something that I really don't like. I wish it was just even a centimeter smaller in diameter and it would not have been a problem. So yeah, so that's the first problem I had. The second problem I had, and I did not had it mostly with this because this is made out of steel, but the more problem I had with other kind of canteens, especially the ones that are made out of aluminum, sorry, is if you put it on top of a fire that is too hot, it starts to deform and it starts to degrade very fast. So yeah, that's another win for the iron cast skillet. Sorry, it's for me it's a kind of quite a tongue twister. So another thing that I like about this is it's very durable. That means it can take a lot of heat, and I mean so much heat that even this would start to deform. And another thing that I didn't like about bigger pots or pans or even a canteen like this is if the fire is in the center, then in a lot of cookingware, the heat will centralize in the center. But with a skillet like this, if it's iron cast, it will heat up the whole pan and it will be more distributed evenly. So that's ideal for when you want to make some flatbread or some bannock bread, or I think how do you call it, those Scottish oatmeal cakes. You just can make a whole bag of these. This is a mix of oatmeal, flour, sugar, potato flocks, yeah, potato, yeah, like dried potato flakes. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Some herbs, and with that, I can just put a little bit of grease or perhaps some bacon grease, tallow, or other animal fat inside of it. Make some bread with water, just put it in and bake one bread the size of this, and I can eat a whole day from it. So that's also something that I like about this. It's very simple to use, and what I also like is it has one of those bigger parts on the sides. So even if you want to collect the grease, you can easily do it instead of with a round pan. It would go all over places, but with this you can do it also, and you can also boil water with it, and perhaps because it stays warm, you can keep heating up cooking water and do it again and use the trout to pour it into a container. Well, many people will say it's too heavy. Yes, it's very heavy. That is like 800 grams, I think, for this small skillet. That's quite a weight if you consider everything that you need to carry in your bug bag. But in my opinion, it's worth it because I can do so many cooking, even water filtering with it, and yeah, uh, like I said, it's durable. That's like I said before. And another thing is, if you are if you are baking with grease or tallow, I'm gonna show you. Here it is. This is my big iron cast pan. Yeah, this is the big brother of the little one. But as you can see, it's now there's now grease all over it. But the grease doesn't fall out. So it's actually actually tallow, but because it does not fall out, you can reuse it after you're done cooking. So when you're done cooking, making some bannock bread or something, and you can just put it. I always put it in a plastic bag after I'm done. Put it in a plastic bag, and whenever I'm going to bake again, I can just take it out. The grease is still on top of it, unless it's getting like over 35 degrees or 40 degrees Celsius. Yeah, then it might start melting, but yeah, by the time that happens, because it's stuck, it's sitting in your bug bag, it's away from the heat and sun rays, so that's not really that big of a problem. So you can take it out and reuse the grease till it's used up or till you are cleaning it. Talking about cleaning it, that's another thing that many people don't like because it does not have a anti bake layer. I don't know what the English term is, but it's like those things, that material that pans have, that non-sticking material. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, you perhaps have this with this pan, but that's not a problem because you can use certain things to scrub it. I always have one of these copper scrunches, copper sponges. Why copper? Because even if I'm done cleaning it and it's full of old grease or leftovers from food particles, then it will kill. It will not get, how do you say this? The bacteria and the virus inside of it will be killed because of the copper. I made a whole video about why you should use copper, and yeah, that's the reason you can use it. Some water, rinse it, and you don't even need soap to clean it. You just need to scrub it, but that's something that many people don't like because you need to scrub it, and perhaps if you after you really dried it, you need to rub it in with a little bit of oil so that it will not rust, because iron cast will start to rust if it's left with water even for few days to a week. I had some rust particles after I forgotten to dry it well. So yeah, but no worries. You can just take some sandpaper and rub it off, and it's good as new. So yeah, you cannot do that with one of those modern pans with non-sticky materials. If it's broken, it's broken, and yeah, dangerous chemicals can leak into the food, or it's not that effective anymore. With this, yeah, just scrub it off literally with either a sponge, a metal sponge, or with some sandpaper. No problem. And what you also can do is, I made a video about the rack. I would say look it up because you can just use something. If you cooked it on a fire or coals, the underside will get dirty. So you just wipe it off and then put it inside of a plastic bag, and your bug out bag will not get dirty. So yeah, that's a way to prevent it. What you also need to do is seasoning. What is seasoning? Seasoning is after you're done maintaining, cleaning your iron cast skillet. Ugh, what's my problem with that word? And just put some olive oil or any type of cooking oil, a layer, and just start to cook it, because the material of the pan is actually filled with a lot of holes, like pores. And the reason why it will clean itself, yeah, not clean itself, but not will not stick, is because these holes are filled with the seasoned cooked oil, and that will give a sort of layer that your food will not get stuck on the inside of it. So yeah, that's another thing you can do with it. And what I also want to suggest is, because that is just the same part as the holding part is the same part as a pan, so this will heat up evenly. So you cannot, when it's really hot, you cannot just grab it, because otherwise these letters will be stuck into your palm. So you should use some glass or a chamois or the rag or a piece of cloth to pick it up. But yeah, just like grandma would do to take the pans and the pots off the hot stove. So that's another thing that you perhaps need to watch out for. Yeah, and to be honest, it's relatively cheap. There are certain. All right, no problem. I thought I saw something. Uh, the thing is, what was my point? Yeah, it's relatively cheap. If you got one of these modern canteens, these can cost a lot of money, and with this, yeah, all the benefits for a little bit more maintenance, perhaps. Yeah, I really like this. Although it's a little bit more heavier, all the pros against the cons considered, I like to have this in my bug bag, just for long term. If you need just a short term bug bag, this will suffice. But with this, I can do actually more. I can bake, I can cook water inside of it, I can even, it's deep enough to make a little bit soup, but it's actually for one person. If you are with a whole group, I would advise get one of those big pans, yeah, for multiple persons, and one person carries these. But if you're expecting to be alone during a bug bag, this will suffice. I think I'm round. So if you, oh yeah, I forgot to say the reason why because this doesn't fit on the solo stove. This fits just about right, just the Goldilocks zone. So that's another thing that I forgot to mention in the beginning. So if you know something that I can use this for, except perhaps being a little bit of a Rapunzel by using it as a striking weapon, perhaps, or perhaps as a, if you hang it on top of your bug bag, extra layer of protection against bullets, perhaps, I don't know. But if you got any ideas to use any other uses for the iron cast skillet, please let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn new things, and I would say like, subscribe, and all good stuff, and see you in the next video. Cheers!